want to talk a little bit today about manipulation. I think it's really important that we become more and more aware of how our own minds work and see the ways that we are manipulating others consciously or unconsciously and being manipulated. Manipulation has a negative connotation, and it certainly is something that can be used for nefarious purposes, but it's also just a real reality of being human, that we're always affecting each other and being affected. An important component to understanding our minds and making sure that we are clearly experiencing the world is to realize the effect that our emotions have on our ability to reason. When we are in a triggered state, whether that is all the way into a fight or flight, or feeling fearful or feeling ashamed, in those places, our prefrontal cortex is not going to be functioning at its optimal level. That means that the part of our brain that's responsible for reasoning and logic is not fully functioning. This isn't a flaw in me or you. This is just how we work. So when we can realize that, we can use that to say, I am feeling an emotional reaction right now. Maybe I should come back to this information when I'm feeling more grounded and able to receive it. You see this a lot with the media, which is, a for-profit business, and they do well when people keep coming back for more information. So one way that I've seen that happening a lot is what I like to call an affect sandwich, where we will be given an article or some story shared where first there's going to be something that is going to trigger some fear, some anger. Then there's going to be some information given. And then on the other side is perhaps some shame or some other kind of information being given that is intended, maybe not intentionally, but it's hard to say, to bring up some emotion. I mean, really, what is good storytelling? Good storytelling is something that's going to move a person. And what makes us feel moved? It's when we have a connection, when we have emotional attachment to it. So, I mean, this isn't something that's like a big conspiracy necessarily. It's kind of just like, how do you tell a story and have people want to hear more? How do you have somebody drawn into the story? Creating an affective response of a strong emotion is gonna do it. So just a thing to think about. Similarly, when you're interacting with people, there can be certain people that are more triggering. There's people that are going to kind of draw you in and maybe say something that brings up some powerful emotion. So it's important to know in those moments, when you're responding, you're not responding at like full mast. You're responding out of like, your brain's not fully functioning. It's going to be often in a fight or flight or somewhere around that type of mindset. And so the things that you're saying might not sound as good. They might not be as accurate to your true values. And the information that you're taking in, you're more likely to perceive based on the emotion. There's such a tendency in humans to say something made me feel a certain way, so to kind of attach an additional narrative onto it. And it could be that the person's telling you something that's really horrible, they're being really unfair, or it could be that you're already activated, and so you're just not fully in a logical reasoning space. So these are just some further ideas about how to work with our minds to be in a space of clarity, being in a space of receiving things, as they are, rather than with such heavy emotional attachments to the narratives that are given. And I think it's good stuff to be aware of as we are in complicated times, in times where we need to be coming together more and fighting less, listening more, and talking less. Yeah.